You think I'm gonna come this far? I say, nah, yo, I'm done. I'm finished. I can't do it. It ain't in me.
But not everybody has that strong mental capacity.
They have it, they just gotta search for it. Giving up is not an option once you got a passion. Because one thing about a passion and what people don't understand, your passion is something that you'll do for free. If you won't do it for free, it's not a passion. You don't love it. I've done this shit for real, for tuna fish. I've done this shit for stamps. I've done this shit for free. I'm in the joint and white boys, right? And I ain't being racist, I'm just being realistic. They felt like, yo, you getting paid $1 a day for this shit. $2 a day. In the feds, $3 a day. In the state, $1 a day. However it go. I don't have to give you no tip. I don't have to give you no tuna. I don't have to give you nothing. And if you act up, nigga, I'm gonna call the people and you gonna be fired.
We can all go through hardships in life. And sometimes you may want to give up. But we're gonna tell you how to bounce back, turn it around. This is the Climb Back series. Today, the Climb Back series goes to Dundalk, Maryland, the Secret Society 2 barbershop and beauty supply store. I get to sit down with George Mando, Butler, aka Dosey. He breaks down his Climb Back story and how he went from the streets of Park Heights all the way to being a successful entrepreneur and business owner. Welcome back to the Climb Back series. What's good, everybody? It's your man Hef Streams. We back with another episode of the Climb Back series. Shout out to my man Big P, got us out here in Dundalk with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Some call him Dosey, some call him Mando. What's good?
What's good, homie?
Welcome to the Climb Back series.
You already know, man. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. You know, like you said, some call me Dosey, some call me Mando, some call me George. You know, they get whoever they want. Some people want George, some people want Mando, some people want Dosey. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I appreciate it, man. I just appreciate, man, the exposure, man, and I appreciate. You know, I've been checking out the Climb Back series, man, and I've been, you know, and different people, you know, from our areas, you know, people like us, you know what I mean, from the urban areas. I've been checking out the Climb Back series, and like I definitely needed to be on it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah, and you know, that's what it's all about. Like, my biggest goal with the Climb Back series is to reach somebody to inspire, right? Yeah. And everybody can always talk about the bad shit, you know, all the bad stories and dwell on everything that we all kind of go through. But it's about that bounce back. So we're going to talk about it today. But tell the world who you are and where you started.
Well, I mean, technically, man, like I said, man, you know, I'm Mando. Some people call me Dosey. You know, some people even, you know, your school people always call you George. I don't care how they do it. You know, they give me the big head George and all this kind of craziness. But at the end of the day, you know, people, they call you what they, you know, what they know you as.
Right.
And with me, man, I'm, you know, like I said, born and raised in Park Heights, you know what I mean? I did have a little stint where, you know, we moved downtown for a minute, but my grandmother always lived there, so I was always a native of Park Heights, you know what I mean?
And again, for the world watching, that's Baltimore.
That's Baltimore,
right?
By all means, that's Baltimore, by all means. Other than that, man, like I said, man, I'm an open book, so I'm gonna give it all to you,
right?
You know what I mean? With me, you know, growing up, you know, my father died when I was 15. You know what I mean? My younger brother was 11, and then my younger brother was 9. You know what I mean? I got 2 younger brothers. Of course, you know, I'm 50 now. My brothers are in their 40s. You know, and it's like, you know, unheard of for a mother to have 3 boys and raise them in Baltimore City, and none of them be a victim of circumstance. I mean, of course, we went through our bumps and lumps, but you know, all of us are still living. You know what I'm saying? That's like a big accomplishment in this time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because 3 boys that was in the street, that's tough. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, I just, you know, thank God for the blessings, or thank the Creator for the blessings that my mother had, where she didn't have to go through the turmoil that other people go through. But, you know, because I got a lot of friends, you know, they got 2 brothers, 1 brother, whoever, you know what I mean? And they just didn't make it this far. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's, you know, with me, I kind of count my blessings daily, home. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, I had so many ups and downs, man, in these little 50 years of mine, not little, but big 50 years of mine, that, you know, it's crazy for me.
And we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it, right? And you saying you lost your dad at 15, you took on a lot of major responsibilities, right?
Yeah. I mean, I lost him at 15. I had to really step up to the plate and be like a father to my younger brothers at 15 years old. I mean, he was, you know, my father was he was a man, you know what I mean? So he was, he was everything to my mother, everything to us, you know what I'm saying? And, his untimely demise, caused me to have to step up. But in hindsight, I used to ask all the time, like, why my father always keep me with him? You know what I mean? Because I knew a lot of stuff, like I was kind of before my time. So I came out the step before my time. So I knew a lot of stuff that I didn't think that, I thought it was grown stuff, right? But I think that, he was preparing me in case he didn't make it. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was in the street and, he had a bar and he was doing different stuff. So, I mean, in case he didn't make it, he prepared me, you feel what I'm saying, for the way. You know what I mean? Prepared me to, I guess, take care of what I had to take care of. But I only understood it in hindsight. You feel what I'm saying? Because I'm like, damn, like, when he passed, it was like, in his will and testament, it was like, yo, just talk to my oldest son. And I'm like, your oldest son? Oh, I'm 15 years old.
Right.
But I had to step up to the plate, you know what I mean? Because I knew what he done for my mother. I knew what he done for us. So, I mean, it was what it was, huh?
Yeah, and that's like the passing of the torch. So
yeah,
you ain't got no choice but to take it
definitely,
on.
Man.
And be a man.
But, I mean, it was what it was. And like I said, it was lumps and bumps in the road. You know what I mean? I went in the street, of course. That's what we do, for survival, especially in urban areas, especially in the street. By the time I was 17, you know what I mean, got caught up, got arrested, caught a charge, ended up getting 8 years, first fire, no parole, I'm 17 years old.
Was that your first charge?
Yeah, that was I ain't gonna say that was my first charge. My first charge was probably 15, 16.
Okay.
Once he passed, right?
Okay.
And then secondly was that charge, which caused me to have to do 8 years. 8 years, first fire, no parole. I ended up doing 6 years and change when that running a little while. I'm in MCTC, I'm in Hagerstown. I'm in the juvenile section, get put off there. Just giving you the spill of what, my life is about. Because like I said, I'm an open book.
So let me ask you about that. So when you went in, you say 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years.
So how does your family take it? They already lost your dad, and now big bro, you know what I'm saying, the next man up in line is going away. What happened with your brothers and your mom at that point?
Well, at that point, my mother, of course, she was, a little bit, she was struggling, right? Not struggling to the point because my mother was working in Johns Hopkins. She was she was in the medical field, and my father worked at Johns Hopkins too, despite whatever he done otherwise, and, with her, she just felt like it was her and her boys. Mm-hmm. She didn't care what it was, at all costs, she was going to do whatever. She was going to make the sacrifice. So when I went in, my brother next to me, he kind of followed suit. But man, my brother had to take care. Now I got to take care of mine.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So, case in point, after I went in, I was in a few years, and then my brother fell victim to circumstance. He ended up going in.
That's
you know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, he ended up going in, just trying to hold on to the family, you know what I mean?
Because really, not to cut you off, but it sounds like the type of trouble y'all were getting into was to benefit the family. It wasn't reckless, right?
Well, it wasn't reckless, but it was reckless. Okay. Because reckless come with the game.
Right.
Like we was in the street, so reckless come with the game. So what happened was, he ended up, like I said, falling victim to circumstance, victim to the streets. I'm in there trying to, I guess, hold on to him while I'm in.
So how long was you in when he got locked up?
Well, I probably was in about maybe 3 years.
All right.
Maybe 3 years. He ended up getting arrested. He ended up catching the charge. When he caught the charge, of course, he ended up coming, and it was crazy. It's ironic that he ended up catching the charge. I'm hurt. I'm in there. I'm trying to coach him through whatever he going through my mother, through my younger brother, through my cousins. You feel what I'm saying? Because he's over to jail. He ended up getting his time and end up coming in Hagerstown in a new jail with me.
Wow.
So now that's crazy. My mother got to pull both of our cards, you feel what I'm saying, with my younger brother, you know what I mean, and come see both of us, you feel what I'm saying? And not to mention her sacrifice. She got to sacrifice to look out for both of us. Of course, dudes that was in the street, a few of them looked out or did whatever they done. But you know how you do. When you in them situations, man, you call on mommy. That's just the situation.
Let me ask you this question. When he came into your jail, did that make you feel more comfortable that you could kind of see him, be there for him in a way?
Well, I was hurt that he had to go through that, but I was comfortable because I knew that once again I could protect him.
You knew where he was
Not
at.
the fact that I had to protect him because he was his own man at that point.
Yeah.
But I just felt like it was more comfortable for him to be there than me to figure or think where he could be or what could be going on where he was at. You know what I mean? Because I know him. You feel what I'm saying? So it was just, it was one of those type of things.
So,
for me.
So looking back, did you have any experiences that stood out in jail or in prison through that experience that like maybe helped you actually get on the right path, or like anything that stood out from that time?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened with me in jail.
All right.
When I went to jail, I'm a firm believer, especially now, right, that because I was raised by my mother after being 15, of course I went to jail, but when a man is raised by his mother, right, he don't know how to deal with his emotions. He deal with his emotions, not to say he's gay or homosexual, but he deal with his emotions coming from a woman's standpoint because that's all he know. So when he go to prison and he around men all day, he learned how to deal with manly emotions. So with me, it allowed me to learn how to deal with my emotions. It allowed my brother to learn how to deal with his emotions, right? And I got a younger brother that never been to prison. He been locked up, but he never been to prison, right? His emotions is different. Not to take anything away from him, but I can understand why. Because you learn how to deal with your emotions from men. Women can only raise you to a certain extent. And then after that, you need a man to show you how to deal with your emotions. If not, you turn into these kids that are out today. That's why these kids killing and going crazy. Yeah. Because they don't have a man there, or they never had a man there to allow them to deal with their emotions. So their emotions are coming from a woman's standpoint. Not to say that they're gay, not to say that they're homosexual, not to say that they're soft. The emotional standpoint can turn you into a killer, or can turn you into an emotional guy when you're sensitive.
It's the emotional intelligence. And if you follow the Comeback series, I talk to a lot of people about the same topic. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's really the way you don't allow people to make you react a certain way.
Exactly.
Right? Because like you said, coming from a woman, you see a woman react in a way that maybe a man wouldn't react in that same situation because of the repercussions.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So if you came up in the street, you know, hey, if I go this way, I might have to deal with this consequence.
Exactly. My point exactly.
And like with you being in prison and going through your experience like that, did you have any situations that you can think of to where it didn't go right? To where your emotions probably did get the best of you?
Well, in the beginning, because like I said, we live and we learn.
Right.
I didn't know. So I dealt with everything I dealt with was my emotions.
Okay.
From over to jail to MCTC to wherever I went, I dealt with emotions, right? But once old heads got to clinging to me and feeling like, damn, boy, you a good dude. I like you, shorty. I like you. You a funny dude. You cool. You thorough. You feel what I'm saying? I started to kind of like gravitate to these guys and see that they deal with their emotions different, and they teach me how to deal with my emotions different. So I was able to do that. So I grew up in prison. Now I'm in prison from 16 to 23.
Wow.
You feel what I'm saying? So like at this point, I'm turning into a man. My birthdays are coming, and I'm turning into a man throughout these guys.
That's a very critical time in a man's life.
Exactly, man. I'm talking about exactly. That's a very critical time.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was in, like you said, I found out my brother got his time, and I'm talking about a wing and a prayer. I was hoping that he came my way, and he just so happened to come my way. So at that point, the Creator answered my prayers. Now I'm able to show him how to deal with his emotions like they taught me how to deal with mine. Because when he came, he was vicious. He come from T-section. He came from over to jail. He came, he wasn't going for nothing. It wasn't no negotiation, whether he was on a basketball court or wherever he was at. If they wanted smoke, he was giving them smoke. But I'm saying, bro, we keep giving them smoke. We ain't gonna get back to mine.
Oh, man.
How you do this?
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So we talking daily in the yard, we walking around, we doing whatever we doing, and he like, man. And he just like me mentally, so he's saying, damn, I see all these older guys gravitating to you. Now I'm letting them know this is my younger brother. You got to teach him the same things you taught me, and this is how it works.
I mean, what you saying right now, I got to just take a time out, man, because when you look at it, it's like out of a movie. Like you had an experience to where you went in, first off, you lost your father, right?
Yeah.
You big bro.
Yeah.
Now you incarcerated. Mm-hmm. Your next brother up who had the torch passed to him, who got to carry on for the family. Now he's with you. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the odds of that?
What's the odds of it happening? But man, this is how it go. The only thing I could feel blessed about was the fact that he didn't lose his life. You feel what I'm saying? He had a second chance. He had another chance. Now, my younger brother, what happened was my mother felt like, because he ended up going in the street afterwards, he was the baby. You know how it is when it's your mother.
Right.
You know, the baby, she gonna embrace him. She gotta hold on to him. These two, they do what they do, but she gotta hold on to him. So what she did was, my mother was from Philly. My father met my mother in Philly. Her whole family live in Philly to this day, right? My mother's the only one down here from her family. So what happened was, my mother said, I'm gonna save him. I'm gonna send him to Philly because I gotta work. I gotta do what I gotta do. She sent him to Philly for a few years. He went to school there. He did, for a few years. So at the end of the day, he ended up going to Philly, staying there for a few years, you know what I mean? And ended up coming back, of course, because he missed his mother. You know how it go.
Yeah.
And, we were still in while he was in Philly. You feel what I'm saying? And I felt like that was the best place for him to be because I didn't want to lose my younger brother. My youngest brother, I didn't want to lose him to the streets. You know what I mean? But he was in the streets, but he ended up going there and he ended up, you feel what I'm saying, ironing things out. He came back. Of course, he got back in the street for a second. And by the time he did that, I was home.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? So I was able to talk to him, able to let him know, man, this ain't what you want to do. This ain't where you want to go. This ain't, you feel what I'm saying?
But your other brother was still locked up.
My other brother was still locked up. Yeah.
How long was his bid?
Well, my other brother I think he had like 8 years. He ended up doing like 5 years. He had like 8 or 10. He ended up doing 5 years on it. And he ended up coming home. I came home in 1998. My brother came home in 2000. You know what I mean? So that was the cue. You know what I mean? He went in and probably, I want to say he went in 94. Because I went in 92. He went in 94, 95.
So let me ask you a question. Before you got locked up, what were your dreams and aspirations? What did George want to do before Mando came along? I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. It's crazy how this worked, right? When I was younger, my grandfather used to send me to a barber shop on Cold Spring and Park Heights, right? It was called Mr. C's and Mr. Lee's, right? It was on the corner of Cold Spring and Park Heights. Anybody that know Park Heights, they know that was there. My grandfather used to run numbers, right? He would take us to the barber shop, go downtown where he used to be at, but he would drop us off at the barber shop, call my grandmother and tell us, because she was living 2629 Cold Spring, which was 4 doors from the barber shop. Okay.
So he would take us there and he would go in there. So when he would go in there, the barber guys would pull out knots of money, right? With rubber bands around them, wallets, you know what I mean? They was brothers.
Yeah.
So they would give my grandfather money. So in my mind, I thought my grandfather owned the barbershop. But he really didn't own the barbershop. In hindsight, I found out he was running numbers. They were just playing numbers, right? This true story.
Right.
So I'm sitting in there being observant. Like I said, I'm before my time. My father always got me with him. My father hustling and doing whatever.
You think he collecting the bills?
So I'm saying, dang, granddaddy caked. He caked up. Him and my father, they doing the do. The whole time, he never owned the barbershop. They just was playing numbers. But he would say, cut him, give him a haircut, give him a Quo Vadis. I remember the whole haircut. Give him a Quo Vadis, leave the widow's peak. I was like, man, come on, man. You feel what I'm saying? Leave the widow's peak, give him a regular, leave the widow's peak, and send him back up there to my wife. But I used to see him put them knots of money out. I said, you know what? This was young.
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I said, man, I'm going to be a baller. I promise you this will happen. So I said, dang, I'm going to be a baller, man. They got cash. My grandfather just paid them. They gave my grandfather some money. I don't know what's going on in here, but I know it's money. So boom, my father would cut our hair, but he wasn't a barber. He just knew how to cut.
Right.
So I remember one Christmas, I asked my father, this when Kmart was out. This was before all, Kmart, Epstein's and all that was out. I asked my father, he said, what you want for Christmas? One of the things I wanted, I said, a barber kit. So he said, what you want a barber kit for? I said, I want to cut some hair. He said, all right. So he bought it. So I ended up cutting my brother's hair, both of them.
How old were you?
I probably was 15 when he died. I probably was 9. Literally.
Cutting your brother hair?
9, 10, literally. Now my brothers, they was like I said, one of my brothers, he like was 5, and the other one was young, right? Like one of my brothers was like, no, I was 9, he might have been 5, 6, and so I probably got it. I'm gonna say 9 or 10 because my brother probably was 6, 7, but I was just experimenting during that time. He was showing me with my own clippers. He wouldn't let me cut their hair until they probably got about 7, 8. Gotcha. You know what I mean? But he would show me. When I started experimenting and I was cutting their hair, yo, my brothers, I'm talking about literally, yo. Now that I look at it in hindsight, it looked slick then, but I was fucking them up. Man, literally, right? And this was the high top fades, the ramps, all this bullshit was out, right? And
you was experimenting
like shit. Bro, they would go outside, literally, and dudes would be like, yo, this shit fucked up. Yo, my brothers would fight niggas about they big brother. Yeah. I dedicate my career to these guys. They would fight niggas.
In you.
Bro, listen, they would fight niggas about they big brother saying that they fucked them up because they thought it was slick because their big brother said it was slick. Right? But now I look at that shit, I'm like, God dang, I carried them. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just telling you how this shit went. So that was the end all be all. So I knew what I wanted to be. You know, to make a long story short, I knew what I wanted to be prior to that. But I was a hustler anyway. I don't care what it was going to be cash. And it's just that simple.
Bet. So let's speed it up. So you got home, right? It's 98. Mm-hmm. Before you went in, you like the cash look of the barbers and everything you saw at the barber shop. What was your first steps when you got home?
Well, when I got home, I'm going to be totally honest with you, home. When I got home, I already knew what I was going to do. In 98, I already knew what I was going to do. I had some jokers that I fucked with heavy that was in power, right? I said, this is what I said to myself. I said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to sell this shit. I'm getting in knee deep. It's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. It's nothing nobody could have told me that I ain't going to sell this shit. I already done it. I know I'm going to do this, right? They was already in power. I came home. I said, boom. Linked up with them, hollered at a few dudes, whoop, whoop, wop. And I said, I'm going to buy me a barbershop, and after that, I'm going to just go to the moon. That's what I said. But you know, when you get caught up and you know that things going like they going and dudes eating and chewing and the lifestyle is like it was, especially in 98, you feel what I'm saying? I just was like, I just felt like, you know, I kept putting it on hold. I'm going to get the barbershop, but I'm cranking now. I'm doing what I'm doing.
I'm kind of put that thought over here.
Yeah, I'm continuing to crank. I'm CTC. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts, but I'm putting it on the back burner. So boom, this 98. Now I'm telling you the truth, bro. I won't lie to you. I promise. CTC, continue to crank, right? So boom, so I'm cranking. So when I come home in 98, I'm cranking. So boom, I'm talking about from the gate. This is no lie. I had 20 years, all suspended but 8. First 5, no parole, 5 years probation.
So you had 20?
Yeah, I have 20 years, all suspended but 8. 5 years, no parole, right? Because I end up doing, like I said, 6 and change on 8. And I had 5 years probation, which made me have 12 years suspended.
You want to talk about the charge?
It don't matter to me.
What they charge you with?
Well, I was charged with attempted murder, right? Assault by shooting, armed robbery, right? Now, this true bill, right? The reason I got charged with all that was because we was running wild at this point. We was running wild. I'm talking about stick up boys for real. Like this what we was doing. You know what I mean? We was selling that shit, but we had got, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We had got a dude, right? And I won't say his name, I won't get into all that. But we had got a dude, he was working at a fast food restaurant, right? And one of the dudes at the fast food restaurant had got him a little upset, the manager. So he like, man, you know, I was assistant manager, I know where the shit at, boo, wah, wah, wah. So, you know, we in the street, we doing whatever, right? He pulled me up and say, man, look, man, I'm trying to see this dude. Man, this dude playing with my pay, playing with everything. I know it's safe. I know. What?
How much in there? Just a disgruntled employee.
Yeah, how much in there? Tell us how much in there. All he had to do was say that. Oh, yeah, I'm going. when you need us. He tell us when he need us. We go up there, go crazy. Now we on a mission. We hollering at anybody that work in the restaurants. You know what I mean? I'm telling you how this shit happened.
Right.
We hollering at anybody, and guess what? The crazy part about this shit was, I'm young, and we in the street. I'm hollering at these dudes that I know that work in restaurants, females, males, you know what I mean? None of them ever was prosecuted, but I'm hollering at them trying to get information because it was so easy the first time that now, you know, this before they had the drop boxes and all that. You get back then in fucking 92, 91, you get 17, 18,000, 20,000, 30,000, no drop box. Are you serious? Wherever you go, you get no drop box, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn, how much they got in there? I don't know. Sometimes we be counting 14,000. What?
So now, because the first joint jumped off, so
yeah, we got that on a listen. We got that joint on a whim. I'm telling you how I roll. Right. Like we got that on a whim. That was just something that he was upset.
So you thinking if I actually put some real
effort, we gonna steal. So every time we grab and do a mission, I go and literally buy some coke, buy something. You feel what I'm saying? To get, you know what I mean, to get it right. You know what I mean, to get right. So like. It was just one of them things, like it was on the news, like it was crazy for me, like growing up. See, I know, and people that know me know my bio. So this is what happened.
Yeah.
So after that happened, I ended up getting locked up because in one of the spots, you know, somebody bucked, it got crazy.
Were you on probation when you came home?
Yeah, when I came home, I was on probation. When I came home, I just said I had 20 years, all suspended for 8, first 5, no parole.
So when you got locked up,
so I had 5 years probation. No, I wasn't on probation then. I was on probation when I came home in 98.
Got you.
I had 5 years probation, 12 years suspended sentence. The thing about that was, I came home and act like I ain't had no probation. I went straight to sell that shit because I already knew what I know.
Right.
And then my guys was on top of the world at that point. At least I felt like they were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was on top of the world. So fast forward, we get to that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm an open book. When you ask me a question, I'm going to give it to you. So when we get to that, I come home in 98. My guys on top of the world. They doing them, right? I'm working at a telemarketing spot. I'm getting over $1,000 a week. Because I can talk. I'm talking now.
Yeah.
So, boom. I said, man, listen. I'm tired of this. I'm burned out. I done saved up my money. You know what I mean? My man and them already in power. Man, it's time to get knee deep. Probation or not, I'm gone. I'm on a mission. I'm out of here. Boom. My man and them, like I said, they running. They doing whatever they doing. Boom. It's 98. All right. 99, 2000, 2001, 2000. I'm going crazy. I'm up. The world is mine. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how I'm feeling.
And that's a good run. You talking about 4 years?
No. Way longer than 4 years. That was just what it was.
When it got started.
I was 7 years in them. Dang. My man in them was 10 years. They was home 2 years, through 2-3 years before I was. So
still doing the restaurant thing.
What?
Doing the restaurant thing.
What restaurant?
You was doing a restaurant, you know.
No, I wasn't doing that. You going back, I'm telling you what happened in 92.
My man.
That's how I caught the bit.
Got you.
Now, 98, I came home, I'm selling dope.
Got you.
I'm selling drugs. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it in 98. This was 92. That's how I caught the bit, 91, 92.
Got you.
That's how I caught the bit doing that. But by the time I got home in 98, I was cranking. I'm cranking. I'm doing, I'm back to the streets again. You feel what I'm saying? But just not on that wave. That was just something that came up.
Gotcha.
And I jumped on it. But I'm on this wave now with the drug shit. This is 98. So 98 on till I get knocked off with the feds, I'm going crazy. I'm cranking. My man and them been home a couple years before then. They was already in power. I jumped straight in. When I jumped straight in, like I said, I dived in. I had 12 years to back up, but it didn't matter to me because they was on. It's time to go. I already knew what I wanted to do. Good. Yeah, the resource was crazy.
Right.
I already knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to get a barbershop, but the money was so good, I ain't had time. I had to do what I had to do. So I'm cranking. I'm going. I get the barbershop in 2002.
Okay.
Right? After 98, 2002. By this time, the heat on. Right? But I ain't paying attention to the heat. I already know it's on, but I got to do what I said I was going to do. I got my barber license from Hagerstown. I went to barber school in the new jail in Hagerstown throughout my bit.
Okay.
That's how I ended up getting my license.
Okay.
I got my license in 94. I got the bit in 92. I got locked up in 91, got the bit in 92. 94, I went to barber school. 95, I had my barber license. 18 months in the new jail, MCTC.
Damn.
I come home in 98. 98, I'm cranking. 2002, I decided to buy a barbershop. Because I didn't want to work for nobody. I had the money.
Right.
I buy a barbershop in 2002 on North Avenue, North and Cary, right? Which was Secret Society 1.
Okay.
That's how you get Secret Society 2.
Tell me about the name, Secret Society.
The name came from my younger brother. When I came home, he was in Philly, like I said, he came home, he was into the music, he rapping. Him and my cousin, right? They the ones, my cousin was from South Carolina, but he moved to Baltimore. My cousin Troy, right? We call him Cuzzo. So him and Valley, which is my younger brother, they had a record company called Secret Society. That was the name of their company. Valley was rapping. When I came home, I got with it, started giving the little parties, Secret Society, let's give a party, Secret Society, I'm getting some money, give a party. Once we started giving the party, it gave the name a buzz. I said, damn, when I opened my barbershop, I was going to name it.
a brand at that point.
Yeah, we was a brand. So once I opened the barbershop, I said, damn, I'm going to name that motherfucker after, the party, after what we doing. So my brother and them, they sanctioned it. I talked to them because it was giving them a buzz as well. So I said, yo, I'm going to name this shit Secret Society Barbershop. Yo, that's what's up. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that's what happened. That's the way I got the name from.
Okay.
I didn't invent the name. My brother and him and my cousin, they got the name. So when they invented the name, I took it to a whole nother level. Now, fast forward, me and my man Ducky from Park Heights.
Okay.
I come home in 98. Ducky came home in 98 too, but he came home later, 98 or maybe 99. Me and Duck started giving the parties, and we named it Secret Society, the Secret Society parties. Now, I didn't have a barbershop yet. I got that in 2002, like I said. While we giving the parties, the energy is up. We going crazy. These parties right now, it wasn't no internet. So we going hand in hand with the flyers.
Yeah.
We going different places and we got to sell word of mouth, right? Wasn't no internet or none of that. So we jamming though, because we got the whole Park Heights in the palm of our hands with the parties. So while we got the Secret Society parties going on, I end up getting a shop in 2002. Now this is 98, 99, 2000, 2001.
Now, not to throw you off, but for the entrepreneurs watching, how easy was it for you to open a shop in 2002? Just like the logistics.
Well, it was easy because of my situation.
Okay.
Right? Now, a lot of people, they just make it hard because they think it costs so much.
Right.
And it really don't.
That's the thing.
It don't cost nothing to open a business. That's what people need to understand. It don't cost nothing to open a business, right? Now, what happens is if you don't have the ambition and the drive, it's always going to fail. I don't care how you look at it. It don't cost a lot to open a business. People ask me that all the time. It don't cost a lot to open a business because you can start from wherever you want to start from. Now, if your mind said you want it to be so glamorous and luxurious, that's your business. But with me, it didn't cost me a lot because, for one, the guy who owned the building was like family. So I rented the space. Once I rented the space, bought the chairs, went and got my LLC, did my homework. And it didn't cost me much. But prior to, in foresight, I thought it cost so much that it took me long. That's what took me so long to do it. Right. Because I thought I needed a lot of money.
But that's what a lot of us do. A lot of us sit behind that big dream and it's like, man, I ain't got it yet. Let me go ahead and keep working in my 9 to 5 until I can get that bread to open up my shop. So how much did you say you spent, if you can come up with a number, to get it actually open?
I'm going to be honest with you, right? I think because I was in position, the bells and whistles, I needed all the bells and whistles at that time to make it look like I wanted to look, because I'm a visionary. That's how this got like
So
this.
you ain't start no
Like,
rinky dink shop. You
no,
came out the gate.
No, I came out the gate. I did renovation in that shop as well as I did in this one, as well as I did in my beauty supply. Like I did renovation because I was in position to, but I didn't have to do that.
Right.
I could have started out with just chairs, mirrors, the basics.
Yeah.
Because it was already a all right location, but because I was in position, I spent the money. But I could have opened the shop literally for like 10K.
Damn.
Literally, if not less.
Could you do the same thing now with 10K in this economy?
No. In this economy, because the value of money has depreciated so much. It depreciated so much that if you look at certain things, right, things that was, chairs might have been 150 back then, and they may be 400 now, or 250 back then, and now they 500. You feel what I'm saying? So economically, everything has doubled. So 20K might get you all right, 15K, just bare minimum for you to get straight. But back then, 10K was like, you was boss.
So let me ask you this. So Secret Society 1's jumping now. You just spent the money. It's open. How did you get it to grow from that point? Because back then, social media and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, what happened was...
Did you automatically be successful?
I already had the parties jumping off. It was already an umbrella. Man. My brother was doing the music. I did the parties. It was already an umbrella there.
You was funneling from
I was funneling from the parties, right? So, and popularity, and I was in the street. So I could, I could manage at that
network
point.
Well.
Yeah, I network well. I think that right now it's real easy. It's more money, but it's easy. Back then it was less money, but it was hard because it was word of mouth. You had to do what you had to do. Now the difference between now and then was back then you had people that you had to put on a list. Like my shop was always full as far as barbers. I had to kind of like people like, yo, if anybody leave, call me. You feel what I'm saying? And opposed to now, right? Even though it costs more, it's hard to keep people because people more lazy and people not as energetic. They don't want to put that work in like they used to, or none of that, right? But back then, you had to almost put people on hold. Like, bro, I'm gonna get you, bro. It's just people.
Is barbering itself? Is it still like a craft that people have that passion like you did back in the day? Do you still see a lot of young people with that passion to be a barber?
Only people that have the passion is young people.
Really?
A lot of older dudes fell off.
Okay.
And when I say fell off, they fell off. A lot of older dudes, right? They shot they load. And it ain't that they can't cut good or none of that. They just become lazy. They become older. Their ambition is done. These young dudes, because you know why I think they become lazy? Because they never reinvented themselves. You got to reinvent yourself to the social media era. You can't be stubborn. You can't be ignorant. You got to get with the wave. Because if you don't reinvent yourself, guess what? You just an old barber. You Mr. Phil. I'm Mr. George. All that shit. You got to be able to reinvent yourself in order for this craft or whatever you're doing. I don't care what you're doing. In order for it to work, you got to be able to reinvent yourself. A lot of people can't reinvent themselves.
Man, you got to like, share, and subscribe to Climbback Series. Stop right now. Hit the subscribe button. Let me ask you this. What's the biggest L you ever took in barbering? Specifically barbering. Biggest L you ever took?
The biggest loss?
Business, yeah, business or anything involving your passion. Like a setback.
You know what's crazy? I took 1 million of them, but I never flinched. Anytime I did it because I took 1 million of them in the street. See, with me, I'm the type of person that I use the same energy that I used in the street. And whatever craft I'm in or whatever I'm into. It's the same grind, it's just a different hustle. You feel what I'm saying? So, like, my first hustle wasn't the street. My first hustle was my god brother, my godmother used to babysit me. My god brother, he used to sell balloons down the harbor. He used to have us walking with 2x4s on our shoulder. Anybody that know Fat Kevin from McCullough Homes, whatever the case may be, I sold 25-cent sodas. I did all of that. So I just used the same energy because it's all the same hustle. It's just a different grind.
So how can you transcend
Or the
that?
same grind, just a different hustle.
How could you transcend that same mindset into somebody that's watching the Climbback series right now that's been through 20 losses and they just want to give up? But you say you took L's, but you ain't never really take them like that because you always was resilient.
Well, I took them, but I never really took them. See, we're going to take losses, right? But when you take a loss, right, you can't accept them. You got to keep going. That's the key. The whole key is to keep going, home. It ain't no other way to do it but keep going. Yo, when you in the game and you in the street, I don't care who you are, you, anybody else that ever been in the street, they gonna take L's. Nobody pushes forward and don't take no L's. That don't work. It don't work like that. That ain't even how it's created. You have to take an L or multiple L's. But you got to be able to you can take 20 L's, but you got to get up 21 times. You can fall 20 times, but you got to get up 21 times in order for it to even make sense. You think I'm going to come this far and say, nah, yo, I'm done. I'm finished. I can't do it. It ain't in me.
But not everybody has that strong mental capacity.
They have it. They just got to search for it. Giving up is not an option once you got a passion. Because one thing about a passion and what people don't understand, your passion is something that you'll do for free. If you won't do it for free, it's not a passion. You don't love it. I've done this shit for real, for tuna fish. I've done this shit for stamps. I've done this shit for free. I'm in the joint and white boys, right? And I ain't being racist. I'm just being realistic. They felt like, yo, you getting paid $1 a day for this shit. $2 a day. In the Fed, $3 a day. In the state, $1 a day. However it go. I don't have to give you no tip. I don't have to give you no tuna. I don't have to give you nothing. And if you act up, nigga, I'm going to call the people and you're going to be fired. I had to do it because it was my passion.
But that same mentality, like you said, carried over into it, though. Like when you came home from jail, a lot of that stuff that you said, you know, the way you carried yourself really helped you be successful, right?
Yeah, because I'm passionate about this shit.
You ain't willing to take no L.
I ain't willing to take no L, bro. I'm not willing to give up. Bro, I done been in this shop from day one, this shop to new shop. I went from North Avenue, bro. I'm talking about literally making $300-400 a day. I'm talking on a bad day, I'm doing $250 or whatever the case may have been. To coming up here and building just because I had faith in what I was doing. And losing out down there. Let my man in them get it. If you can't wait till the evening when I come down there, my man in them got to get that. As long as they come through the shop. I went through that, the sacrifice. I already know what I can do. I was in this motherfucker by myself. I'm talking about not another barber in sight. Don't know nobody in the area.
That's passion right there,
That's
man.
passion.
So that's the climb.
You know how much money I spent in this joint, building this joint? This joint was a shell, bro. And we ain't talking about no street money. We talking about money that I grind for on North Avenue. Selling clothes and all kind of shit.
Were you ever afraid of failure?
Nah, because I don't think I can. And I ain't being arrogant or cocky. What I'm saying is, failure to me is when you give up. Sure, listen, success, let me tell you something. What people don't understand is, you determine your success, right? I determine my success, right? My success ain't based off nobody else's success. If a nigga making $700, $1,000 a day in barbering, right? That's his success. I might have came home making $80 a day. If I'm making $200, I'm successful to me. And I'm just chasing a bigger success. I ain't chasing your success. Because however you went about it, that's what made you there.
But a lot of people can't think like that, especially in today's society with social media. Everybody want to keep up with everybody else. So with the ability of what you're saying for real is actually not that easy, in my opinion. Because another man gonna look at the next barber and say, well, damn, I ain't doing the type of business he doing. So how can they just, worry about themselves? Like, what's up with that barber who's making all that money in their chair but never owns a shop? Is it the fear?
Nah.
Or is it the
What it
ambition?
is it's not the fear. It's just the lack of wanting responsibility.
Okay.
See, one thing for me, right? I gotta be the boss. I don't give a fuck. Listen, bro, I promise you, I'm gonna tell you how this shit work, right? And I ain't saying the boss of nobody. I gotta be my
Boss of
own
yourself,
boss.
right.
So what I'm saying is this, right? In the feds, I worked in the kitchen before, right? And I was in the dish room, right? And when I was in the dish room, I came in as a regular dish room worker, right? And I swear to God, I ain't want to work in no kitchen. I just want to cut hair. I don't want to work in no fucking kitchen. And I'm doing all right in the street. So what the fuck I'm doing in the kitchen? But you gotta work there. So now, I said, oh, they playing games with me. They got me in this kitchen. I went on lockup 3 times for bucking, for not wanting to work in the kitchen. But they don't give a fuck. They gonna lock you up and put you back in the kitchen.
Right.
You're gonna be there 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. They're gonna put you back in the kitchen because you gotta work in the feds. Now the state you might get over. The feds, you gotta work. Bro, this old head told me, he said, man, listen, DC, from DC, bro. I promise you he was from DC. He said, shorty, he said, let me tell you something. He said, let me tell you something, Slim. I said, what? He said, they're gonna continue to lock you up. I've been in the joint 20 years. He said they're gonna continue to lock you up. Guess what I told him? I was talking slick. I said, home, I don't give a fuck what they gonna do. I said, man, I don't work in no kitchen. I sell dope in the street. He said, Slim, I sold all the dope DC can handle. Oh yeah. He said, this shit don't make a difference. He said, I work in the butcher shop. He said, let me tell you something. He said, all you got to do is make them pay. He said, steal everything in this motherfucker that ain't nailed down.
Damn.
So I said, man, I don't steal. I ain't doing no stealing. I'm buying my shit off the pound. He said, let me tell you something, short. He said, I can tell you was getting a few dollars on the street. I can tell how these niggas look at you and cater to you and all that. He said, man, but when you start digging into that motherfucking dime in that 11 years, all that shit go out the window. He said, nigga, you gonna steal. I said, no, I ain't stealing nothing. I ain't doing it. He said, man, listen to what I'm trying to tell you, Slim. He said, you gonna steal. He said, and guess what? Every time you buck, they gonna lock you up. They come in there, the lieutenant said, man, you gonna work, Butler? I said, no, I ain't working. DC dude looked at me. He said, man, you heard what I told you, Slim? He got up, went in the butcher shop. I said, fuck it, I ain't going back. This is my 3rd time going on lockup. I'm tired of this shit. I said, I'm gonna work. He said, go in the dish room. I said, okay. I go in the dish room. I said, you know what? I'm going this motherfucker, man. I said, man, you know, so now I know. Number 1 in the dish room, number 2, then it's a number 3, and then everybody else just work. I said, I got to be the number 1. I can't play this. This is crazy. I don't give a fuck where I'm at. He got privilege.
Right.
Them motherfuckers from the butcher shop sending him everything over there. He making motherfuckers work for him. I said, damn. So I go in there in the dish room. The number 2, he leave. He go to camp. He go to the low. Because I'm in the medium. The number 2, he leave. The number 3 step up. He leave. Right? The number 1 go, now I'm a number 3. I'm going up. This numbers, they got you going crazy. So now I say, damn. I say, man, next thing I know, long story short, I become the number 1 in the dish room. Now everything got to go through me. Now my name come up for the barbershop. But the barbershop controlled in the medium. Because the people come in there and all that shit. And they called me, man. I was killing them so bad in that motherfucker. Taking them people's shit.
You took your man advice.
Listen, I ended up not even accepting it. And let me tell you what this DC dude said to me. He said, the old head, he was going to the commissary. He said, what's up, youngin'? I said, ain't shit, chilling. He said, man, you want something from the store? He said, man, I'm ready to go to the store. It's our store day. He said, you want something from the store? I'll get you something. Because we used to work out together. Me and him became real cool. That's my man to this day. So he said, you want something from the store? I said, no, I'm good. I'll go to the store tomorrow. So he said, all right. He said, I'm going to grab a few things and I'll see you later in the yard. I come out. I said I wasn't stealing. I come out the kitchen. I got my apron on. The door wide open. No police at the door. The money is onion and green peppers. I don't give a fuck how you look at it. 1 and 1. Right? I get a batch of it. Ha! Tuck them. I gotta go. I go out the door. He coming from commissary. He just seen me when I was going in. He say, what's up, young? And I say, ain't shit. I'm ready to go down the unit. I say, man, I'm gonna see you in the yard. He say, all right. He say, damn, young. I say, what's up? He said, boy, you got blue balls and you steal. Right? So I say, look, I tell him, I say, nah, I'm telling you what happened, bro. I say, damn, I was fucked up because he said, I told you was gonna steal. He said, man, that shit outside don't last forever.
Right.
They spinning it and they sending it to you.
Right.
Man, it was a valuable lesson to me, right? The aim is not to let these people or let this social media and all this shit, getting back to what you said, trick you into thinking, right? Because that motherfucker, if you listen to it, because all that shit fake. I ain't saying some of the shit that people got going on ain't real. But we human. We got problems. We got issues. You feel what I'm saying?
Everybody got their vices.
Everybody got vices. Everybody got something going on. So that motherfucker do one of the two things. Either that motherfucker motivate you or have you thinking you the most shitball motherfucker in the world because you can't get to the level or the pinnacle that some people on there, or you assume some people on there are. One thing about reality, right? When you close that motherfucking phone up, you got to deal with your own reality. You can open that phone up and be $1 million up, but you can close that phone down, right? And your reality kick in and you $1 million down.
Oh, man.
Right? So what happens is this, right? In life, I learned this. You can make me tell you rich, right? You can be rich all over the world, but you can't fake broke. Broke is broke all over the world. Now, think about what I'm saying.
Say it again.
You can fake rich, but you can't fake broke.
That's some real shit.
You can't fake broke, bro. Broke is broke all over the world. It's going to show. I don't give a fuck what kind of mask you put up and all that, because guess what happens? You got real people that know you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
If you up, you up. But when you close that motherfucking phone, the people that know you, I say, man, that nigga fucked up. Man, come on, man. He playing. He ain't that. She ain't that. They know you.
So let's do this. Let's shift gears and talk about when you hit that yield and you started climbing back for good, right? Because at a certain point, the streets and the business, they got to depart. Or maybe they don't. You know what I'm saying? When did you start thinking different now? The shop's going. Before 2 opens up, what started changing in your life as you started getting older?
All right, well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of what happened to me. All right, 2003, 2004, after I got the shop, right? 2004.
Because I'm very curious to see, you know.
Yeah, how the transition.
Yeah.
2004, I got the shop. And when I got the shop in 2004, I got the shop in 2002, the other shop. 2004, I went to jail end of 2004, beginning of 2005. I went with the feds, right? Of course, everybody that know my situation, right? I was in this quote unquote stop snitching DVD, talking my little shit. You feel what I'm saying? And boom, 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 which drew the heat on me.
And real quick, for those who's watching, the Stop Snitching was pretty big, right?
Yeah, it was a big DVD. Yeah, at that time. At that time, it was definitely a big DVD. And they had me all across the news, the whole 2004, 2005, 2006, throughout our trial, whatever the case may be. I was in a part of the rights organization. If anybody know my man Goody, Hal, we shout out to them. You know, Black E, you know, a few other guys, you know what I mean, that was on our case. And then of course you got the people that went bad, but that's something different. I ended up getting locked up with the feds in 2005, beginning of 2005 into 2004. They got locked up in 2004. They did a superseding indictment. I ended up being on a superseding indictment, got locked up in 2005. So they tried to get me for the witness intimidation because I was on the Stop Snitching DVD. I was talking shit. I had the gun in my hand, the dumbest shit I ever did in life. I promise you that. That shit haunt me to this day. I mean, I'm being realistic. You feel what I'm saying? So fast forward.
Wasn't Carmelo in that joint?
Yeah, Carmelo was on that joint. There was a lot of people, man. A lot of people had to do what they had to do to shake that joint. That joint was crazy. You know what I mean? Now, you know, people can carry fucking drums on the fucking videos. Right. But back then, you wasn't even allowed to do that shit. That shit was unheard of. You know
so they called it witness intimidation.
Witness intimidation, that's what it was. So I ended up going to jail. A lot of people thought I went for guns. A lot of people thought I went for witness intimidation. None of that was really why I went to prison. I went to prison for being a part of a RICO case, you know what I mean, the rights organization, they were saying we ran for 10 years, selling narcotics, heroin and cocaine up and down the Park Heights community.
Was a suite.
Yeah, it was a suite. Yeah, up and down the Park Heights community. So I ended up getting the time. You feel what I'm saying? I ended up getting the time. Once I got the time, when I was inside, I was, like I said, I mean, of course, we going back to what it was. I was just, I knew what I wanted to do at this point. My first incarceration, I knew what I was going to do. I was coming home, sell that shit. This incarceration, I already said to myself, I'm like, this shit is done. I got to do what I got to do.
How long was you in for that one? The second one?
This time, I was in 10 years and I think 3 months, 10 years, 3-4 months, something like that. I had 10 and change.
What happened to the shop?
Well, when I went in, right, shout out to Coogee, right? Meats was in and out, but shout out to Coogee. When I went in, my homie that was at the shop, he held it down for me. Now,
the whole time,
him, my man Duck, the one I used to get the parties to, right? They held the shop down for me the whole time, right? Well, Duck, he kind of chilled because he wasn't a barber. He just was controlling the outside, management. But Coogee was a barber, master barber, so he kind of controlled the internal shit.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So they held it down for me. So when I got back, it was still there.
Damn.
It was still there. You feel what I'm saying? Of course, it's never like you left it or never like you want, but the fact that it was still there was showed me the signs of loyalty.
Hell yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So I came home to something. You know what I mean? I came home to something instead of coming home to nothing. You feel what I'm saying? So I came home in 2013.
Did you ever have any kids in between that time?
Well, I had a son, right? Before I fell, right? That's a long story, right? But in any event, I came home in 2013. When I came home in 2013, I had my daughter, like immediately. And so, like, when I came home in 2013, I had my daughter, that joint kind of took me, I was already mentally not there for the streets, right? Because the streets was different. But when I had my daughter, because I had her in 14, so that means I made her in 13, halfway house material, right? I was ready, you know what I mean? So it kind of took me somewhere else, you know what I'm saying? So at that point, I realized that, it was time for change. And I realized that, my biggest fear in the joint, man, was my mother passing while I was there. Like losing my mother in the joint. I seen so many dudes lose their mother in the joint. That's number one. Now, when I got out, 3 of my co-defendants, if not 4, lost their mothers. So me, I had to be the burden barrier to make sure I went to their memorials, I went to their funerals, I sent flowers. I did these things because they couldn't do it.
Because they were still in.
They were still in. So guess what? It was an honor for me to do that, right? But I couldn't imagine the feeling. I couldn't imagine the feeling of a man, not having any closure with his mother, Your mother is your mother, man, right? These are some of the things that made my transition permanent and not make me go back. Because everybody know when you go to fairs, you meet people. People from all walks of life. Me and you just talked about it. I know people from D.C., Atlanta, Texas, wherever, right? I'm talking about foreigners, whatever, right? And everybody get this misconception that when you go on the fairs, you got the plug. You feel what I'm saying? And maybe you do. But at the end of the day, is that the route you want to go? Because if that's the route you want to go, you can go there.
Exactly.
But if not, you're not. And I just, the sentimental things that happened, during this time. Because when I came home, it was almost like a domino effect. I had my daughter. All right. My mom, she up in age, but she's still trucking. These guys' moms passing back to back. And they like, bro, my mother's sick. My mother passed, bro. You think you can send some flowers, yo? She having a memorial, she having a funeral. I don't even know what to say to these niggas because I still got my mother. Damn, yo. You know what I mean?
And those are the times where the money don't really solve it.
These my co-defendants, the money don't do nothing to these niggas. These niggas is hurting because they can't get out to see him. You know what I mean? We got rats and shit on our case that made us have to get more time. These niggas could have been home with their parents. This is the shit you got to go through when you put yourself in these positions. So I said, oh, no, I got to find a better way.
Yeah.
I got to find a better way. I got to find a better way. And I'm a hustler before I'm anything. I'm a dealer secondary. Dealing was just a hustle at the time. You know what I mean? That wasn't what I did. I wasn't no motherfucking dealer. That was the hustle. If a motherfucker selling corn and I'm a hustler, I'm gonna sell corn.
Right.
Because that's what's going on. That's the wave.
You trying to get to the money.
I'm trying to get to the money. Fuck the other shit. I ain't fucking like selling coke. I ain't like selling dope. I ain't like selling none of that shit. I like the money. So now I gotta find something else to substitute for the money. If I gotta put in more time, that's what it has to be. And that's just how it was for me. And that's what made the transition. And that's what made me feel some type of way. Who the fuck wanna lose their parent, their mother? You know, of course, it's mama's baby and papa's maybe. You know, I ain't saying that father's up. But what I'm saying is, who wanna lose their mother, man, and not have no closure, bro? Bro, who wanna do that in the joint? That's 100%. A selfish move, bro. Especially if you can avoid it. Now I'm in a position to avoid it. I'm back in the street.
And then, like you said, you experienced like 3 or 4 of them yourself being a bearer of that.
I'm talking about calling me, bro. Like, I know these niggas crying. They trying to hold up because of their situation. But I know how close you is to your mother, bro. I gotta go in that joint, take pictures. Yo, sister was there. Yo, I followed her. Yo, your brother was there. Yo, I seen your father. Yo, I don't even have nothing happy to say to him because it ain't nothing happy about it. So like at the end of the day, this is the type of heart and type of feelings I have. I'm like, bro, I'm fortunate. You know, my mother was 73 years old, just retired from Johns Hopkins for 45 years, bro. I gave her the biggest retirement party she could probably ever had for her.
If you want to see more content like this, stop what you're doing right now and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications and subscribe to the Climbback series. Yeah. So it's funny you mention it, right? And the thing that I found that was funny is you made so much money in the streets. How did it feel for you to make that transition, to make that honest money kind of slower than what you was doing before?
Well, with me,
did you feel different about it?
Yeah, I felt very different, right? With me, man, it was an everyday struggle for a long time, right? To be able to make that transition because I know what I can do in the street. And when I'm active, I'm active. Believe me.
Is it hard for you to restrain that side of you?
Well, it was hard at first, right? I've been home a while now, so I'm seasoned. It was hard at first to make that transition because what you got to understand is that when you've been doing that for so long, right? And you know what you can do. You know the people that you know. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's an uphill battle every day fighting and wrestling with this, right? But like I say all the time, right? If the reward don't outweigh the risk, change the risk, right? I already know what the reward is. I'm going to get some money. Make no mistake about it.
Did you have a moment that you remember to where it was like you almost went back in and just went hard?
Well, every day was a moment I almost went back in. But every day, it seemed like the creator sent something to me that said, damn, I might read Murder, Inc. I might talk to a dude and he say, damn, yo, you ain't gonna believe who got grabbed. Whatchamacallit got grabbed. I was like, oh, damn. Shit.
Like, you know what I mean? Like a sign every
even
time.
with the murders, right? You look at the murders and you say, damn, I'm in the clear. They killing all niggas that's 25 and yonder. And then you get that call. Yo, you ain't gonna believe who they hit, who they hollered at. Who? Your man. You look on Murder, Inc. He 47. You say, damn, I ain't even out the loop. Damn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is how you gotta think in order to be able to make this transition. You gotta think about the odds because the evens is there. I know what I can do. I know this, home. And people be biting at you. They be grabbing at you. Niggas know you just came home. Man, niggas will come bring you fruit baskets when they think you on or think you can get on. I'm just telling you how this shit works. Niggas gonna bring you a couple of hours and everything when you first get home because they think the train coming or the mother load.
Right.
So at that point, You gotta wrestle with that shit. That shit is serious, home. When I say serious, it's serious, home. You gotta be able to really, really defy the odds. You gotta look at this hand and say, damn, here go my mother, and here go my daughter, Jordy Pie. Here go the smack. I know I'm gonna get some money. But consequence, the laws of probability say, I've been in prison 2 times, 2 major incarcerations, right? I've been in situations that I never thought I could get out of, right? So after you go to prison 100 times, what's the next thing that go down? Either you going back to prison or you gonna get your brains blew out. Because this is the world we live in now. Mm-hmm. And it ain't even no more. Right. It ain't nothing. Everything that's going on out here now is, we know it's definitely crazy. So now I gotta weigh these odds and say to myself, damn, I've been out here 11 years, home. I ain't been in the street 11 years since I was 11. Literally.
That's crazy when you put it that way.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like, even if it was training school or even if it was whatever, I ain't been in the street 11 years, and I'm being a little exaggerative because I ain't start really going to jail till I was 14, 15. I was 15 because it was after my father passed. But I'm just saying that to say, I ain't been in the street since then for these many years at one time.
I'm with you.
So now I'm feeling like, damn, I'm gonna wait till I've been here 11 years and then let them, you know what I mean? Like, I've been wrestling with it for 11 years. Been plenty of times, bro. I swear, double dutching. Like, get this.
Where you gonna be in the next 5 or 10? Where's the secret society go?
Well, in the next 5 or 10, right? I can't predict where it go. But I can tell you this, and I mean this, I'm gonna keep going. So if I come to a standstill, just know this, I'm gonna keep going. I've been in a standstill a couple times. Like, I'm my worst critic. Like I said, everybody look at me as being a guy who even if we use your series, right? Everybody look at me as being a guy like, damn, yo, he bounced back. He came back. He did it every time, right? But with me, I'm behind time.
You ain't never
to everybody else, I'm past time. I'm before time. But to me, I feel like I'm behind time every time, but that's what keep me motivated to keep going. If I start feeling like everybody else feel about me, then I'm gonna stay stagnated. I gotta feel like I'm behind time in order for me to have any type of urgency and in order for me to keep going. I gotta feel like I'm behind time. That's what motivates me. That's what makes me move. I feel like, man, I supposed to been way further than this right now. Look at me like I'm crazy. Be like, yo, come on, bro. I've been out this motherfucker for my whole life and ain't been there.
Yeah, you just not complacent.
I'm not complacent, bro. Bro, I don't have no ceiling, bro. No ceiling. It's like get rich or die trying. There's no ceiling there for me. And that's just what it is. Like, I recommend, even when dudes get that feeling, man, if you ain't wholeheartedly ready to do, like, I know consequence. So I know if I decide today, tomorrow, to say that I'm going back, I got to be willing to accept the consequences gracefully as I accept the rewards. Because the reward's going to come, but it come with a consequence. I know this for fact. I got to be willing to accept it. If I ain't willing to accept it, man, guess what? It was all for nothing. Because I'm going to either do one of the two things. I'm going to tell or I'm going to do some slime ball shit. Period. That's just what it is. You got to be willing to accept the consequence as gracefully as you accept the rewards when you know the consequence. So I know consequence. You know what I mean? People may look at it as fear, but truth be told, the only thing that changed the essence of man is love and fear. You got to fear something to change, or you got to love something to change. And that's just it. I don't fear prison. I don't fear death. I don't fear none of that. Only thing I fear, man, is another man raising my daughter, man, and my mother dying while I'm in prison.
It's almost like that old head that was talking to you in prison, that was putting you down the information. It's almost like now, in a way, you him on a porch.
I'm him
You know?
on a different level.
Yeah.
I'm only teaching what I was taught. I was taught these things. We gotta give it away. I can't hold on to this shit. Where am I taking it in the box? I gotta get this shit away, bro. Cause I was taught these things.
My man say either you had blue balls or you was stealing.
Listen, either you had blue balls or you was stealing, home. I told you was gonna steal. He knew it. It's no way you gonna be around all this shit and you ain't gonna take nothing. The door open.
So how many physical years you did? 16?
You mean in prison?
Yeah.
Like all together?
Mm-hmm.
Probably 16, 17. So you take 16, 17 from 50, 33 years in the street, right? Minus the little training school stays and all that, because I was in some shit. And minus being grown. So you take the 15 years too, because I had to be grown at 15. My father died at 15.
What I like about your story, right, and stories similar to yours, right, is you lose all that time. This is my perspective. This is my perception before I say you lose. Because to me, a person that's doing 17 years is losing time. So if I know that a person that I know personally has gone away for that amount of time, internally, I want to make sure that I have something that I can say I lived for during that time. Like right now, if I know somebody that goes away for 5 years and they got out in 5, personally, I would hope that I'm doing something different than I was doing 5 years ago. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How do you, after doing that amount of time, still have this energy, still have this mentality of not losing, not giving up, climbing back to own businesses? Like, there's people that didn't do this that's been free forever or hasn't been in jail for 17 years. Like, this is the shit that inspires me. This is why I do this show. Because how do you do it? Like, I complain sometimes while getting up and going to my 9 to 5. You did 17 and you sitting here in your barbershop. The second barbershop.
Bro, my philosophy is this, right? It's not even what happens. Like, if you a hustler, man, like, you can lose it all. I lost it all, man. 3 times. I lost it all. I promise you. I lost it all, bro. It was nothing. I lost it all. But aim for me the whole time I was losing it, man, being in them situations and being in them jails and them prisons, was to get it back. So you can lose it how many other times, but if you're a hustler, you're going to get it back. I promise you're going to get it back. If I lose all this shit again, I'm going to get it back. If I don't run out of time in life, I'm telling you, because that's my drive and that's my ambition. I got to keep going. It's no stopping. I have to keep going. And that's the aim. And when people start thinking like that, then guess what? Your losses is your losses. You're going to take them. I promise you're going to take them. But you got to keep going, bro. You got to keep going. Because guess what? Ain't nobody going to do this shit for you. It's nobody going to do it for you, home. I promise you that. And I'm saying that with all my heart. It's nobody going to do this shit for you. You got to keep going. You got to have that drive and ambition to keep going. Shit going, man, listen, man, when I tell you life be lifing, bro, you wouldn't imagine. They my secrets. You wouldn't imagine how many times I wanted to fold, how many times I wanted to bend, how many times I wanted to break. I said, damn, if I do that now, then it was all for nothing. It was all for nothing, bro. It was all for nothing. So when you start something, right, the aim is to finish it. No matter where the finish line at, man, you got to climb for that joint. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always peachy for me. It ain't always up. Like I said, the exterior always look like it's up. Yo, doing good. He doing all right. Yo, he up. He getting this. He doing that. Nah, ain't always like that, bro. But guess what? I keep myself in a space where I won't stress myself out and kill myself trying to strive to survive. So I don't put myself on no level where I know I'm not supposed to be. I keep it simple. Because I know one thing, if I know anything simple, gonna be easier for me to progress. But if I chase somebody else, I ain't chasing nobody. Guess what? I'm my worst critic. You can't tell me nothing right now and make me feel like, boy, you should be. No, you should be. Not me. I know where I should be at because I'm climbing. And that's just it, home. It's just that simple. I'm climbing. So even when I left and decided to say, all right, well, Secret Society 1, I outgrew it, right? Because of Aria for one. We all know that's about the ground zero. That's where Freddie Gray had the riots and all that. Now I'm thinking ahead. I'm saying to myself, yo, gentrification is coming. I got to be prepared for this gentrification.
Clientele different.
It's reckless down here. The energy is different. I'm getting older. Sure, I love to sit out on North Avenue and see niggas banging out, niggas fighting, everything happening, everything going on. But when you get older, you start thinking to yourself like, damn, this ain't even attractive to me, so how is it attractive to my clientele? It's going to depreciate at some point. People ain't trying to sit down there. They ain't trying to get robbed. They ain't trying to get carjacked. They ain't trying to get... So now I can't think about my comfortability or what I'm used to. I got to think about the people that I serve, the people that, my patrons and the people that come see me. I got to think about their comfortability. I don't care if it's parking. I don't care if it's security. I don't care what it is. You got to think about that. So now I'm searching long and hard. Sure, I wanted to go east, one west, but where at east I'm going to go? I see something that might be, might be worth it to me. I'm going to go here and see how this works. Start from the bottom. I came home in 2013. Bro, I ain't had one client on North Avenue. Everybody that was my client on North Avenue that was 10 was now 21. If they was 15, they was now 25. So at that point, they had other barbers, they had other people. That's what I did. I said, you know what? I got to go out here and get it out of the mud. So now I got to stand out front of my barbershop where these niggas getting all the money in there and give out cards and coupons, bro. $5 off. I got to do something.
But Mando, you was back where you like to be at number one.
Yeah.
At your shop.
Yeah.
Right?
I was in my comfort zone.
Damn right.
So it didn't matter to me. I had to grind. Yo, my guys that worked in the shop, Coogee, Meats, these my guys. Like they been there, they loyal, they them guys, for real. They up. Far as the shop, they've been there.
So let's talk about your climb back, right?
Right.
Everybody watches the whole
Since this is the climb back, we're gonna talk about this. Yeah.
Everything that you've done since 2013, right? Talk about, anything you want to bring up to where you got to now, with all your ventures, your business. I know you got parties that you're still doing.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that. So put us down on what you got right now.
Well, since then, since coming home and, knowing what direction I wanted to go in, I came home, a couple of my guys, couple friends of mine, it wasn't back in the day. These guys I knew from the street. We wasn't together enough, but we was from the same area, right? And big up to them. Shout out to these guys, man. I came home and, one of my guys, he kept in touch. He came to see me and, shout out to KP. He came to see me and was like, damn, bro. He was like, yo, I know y'all used to get the parties when you was home, and I've been told you I wanted to do the party thing. I've been doing it since you've been gone. And I've been hearing about it, So he said, man, it ain't back in the day. I ain't in the street no more. We ain't a couple of guys that's with us that ain't in the street. We just doing the parties and we working and doing what we doing. So he said, man, we was thinking about giving a party, right? Since you coming home, stand up, dude, you thorough, you held up, whatever. However, and dudes couldn't wait till you get here. So we gonna give you a party. And he like, we gonna give him a party. And he said, sure. Back in the day, you came home and they give you a dump truck full of money. They give you a few dollars, you know how that shit was. Yeah. You was doing good. So he like, man, yo, this would be the one. He said, man, look, you ain't got to put nothing. You ain't got to do nothing. He kept it real. You know what I mean? You ain't got to do nothing. Man, look, he like, man, this is what we going to do. I'm like, what? He like, man, me, you know, and I'm definitely gonna mention because this is real. You know what I mean? He like me, Rondell is KP, Rondell, Wick, you know what I mean, Coy, my brother, that's my brother best friend, my youngest brother best friend. You know, they was doing the parties. So he said, you know, we going, you know, we give a party, you know what I mean? And man, listen, man, you know what I mean? Whatever the proceeds, we just bust it down, you know? All right, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm all right. I'm okay. I'm coming home to something because I got the shop and I got little shit going on. But, you know, ain't nobody giving, like, dudes be expecting, you know, when they come home, it used to, you know, when they used to come home, like when I came home in 98, you know, dudes, give me a couple of, this ain't that day and time. This 2013.
Right.
So, you know, that was, to me, that was logic. You know, shit, you know, and so that's what happened. So we ended up giving, that was the first party, right? That was the first party we gave. It was like Libra Legends. I want to say it was Libra Legends because me and him Libras, right? And then both our birthdays in the same month. So I want to say that was the first party. It was like a Libra Legend party. You know, you put your shit on, you know, you got your suits on. We doing big boy shit. We grown. So after that, you know, we decided to name it the Oscars.
Okay.
Right? Because it was like you putting on suits, we dressing up. You feel what I'm saying? We doing, this is what we doing. It's the wave, right? So we put it on, you know, put the suits on, and the next year, you know, October, we started, you know, we gave a party. Then, you know, it escalated to, we went back to Libra Legends, went back to the Oscars, went back, you know, year for year. We've been doing it for a minute, you know what I mean? The boat, whatever. So at that point, the parties is what's making the shop generate again. I'm doing it again, the same format, but just with different guys. You feel what I'm saying? The same format. So moving forward, then my man Duck, who originated doing the parties, we ended up giving a secret society party, like a reunion. That turned out nice, right? And then it was just like parties after that. You know what I'm saying? The parties, because one thing I do know about parties is good promotion for your business.
Absolutely.
If that's what you're doing, right? So that's what happened. So when I came back, I kind of bounced back off that, piggybacked off that. Like I said, redone the shop down there. I renovated it, did everything I was supposed to do. And then afterward, you know what I mean? I ended up, like I said, hustling enough to feel like I wanted to expand. And I ended up getting this barbershop. And I ended up getting the beauty supply afterward. You feel what I'm saying? Just, you know, just basically knowing what I wanted and looking forward to what I wanted to do.
Talk about that. Talk about the beauty supply shop, because I came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
And it's real nice. So like right now, you could probably see some, you know, nice shots of the store. How'd you get started with that?
Well, this is what happened. I had the barbershop first, right? You know, technically I had the barbershop first. And the beauty supply shop wasn't a beauty supply shop at first. Before I had the barbershop, I had ended up getting a boutique for my daughter's mom, right? And that's what that was.
Okay.
And so that's what made me focus on the barbershop, because here where I'm at, where we at now, was a barbershop before, but it was like from the 60s. You know, it was like nothing in here. It was like, you know, but it had a sign out there that said it was. So, you know, when I looked at the space, I said, damn, that would be good. I'm looking over east, trying to go east to west. But I'm saying, damn, that would be good. It's deep east, but it's good. So she had the boutique, and you know, whatever happened with that, you know, it didn't work out. That was just the whole thing. It didn't work out. It was good. She had it for like almost 2 years, and you know, things went sour or whatever. However that went, you know, that was her business, right? But I put the money in it, and I did all the work, all the development, everything in it. So what happened was I had by that time, after that, I ended up renovating the barbershop, but she still had that at the time. So by the time I finished the barbershop, and she was over there a couple years, she ended up letting the business go, or whatever the case may be. And when she let the business go, the people that bought this complex afterward, they used this shop and the beauty supply as like sales pitches for the people that was trying to buy.
Ah, okay.
Because these was the two brand new renovated places. So they used
came
this
hand in hand.
they used this as, landmarks to do it. So when they did it, they sold it, right? So when they sold it, the new people that came in knew that I renovated this space. The space was open. It was a turnkey business at that point because it was closed. So they came to me and said, look, we giving you the first opportunity to get this business back because we know how much money you put in it. We saw it when it wasn't nothing. They showed us the pictures, and we see that you put some money in it. Regardless of whatever you put it in there for, can you find something to do with it? If not, we're going to rent it out because people do want it. So I said, I ain't really trying to, you know what I mean? Like because I just felt like I wasn't trying to really, I'm trying to focus on this. But when my daughter's mom had it, I told her, that when you do a boutique, that clothes don't sell every day. So I told her you should, mix it and do clothes and do beauty supply. But that wasn't what she was on. So I thought about it. I said, damn, you got a lot of money invested in that joint. And I don't want the money to go to waste because I really grind for that. That ain't no street money. That's really barbering, selling clothes. I was doing whatever except selling dope. So I said, nah, I got to do something with it. So I said, you know what? What would be more better than having a beauty supply? I got a barber shop, which has a beauty salon in the back. I got three girls that work in the back. And so what would be more better than putting a beauty supply there and sell barber stuff, beauty supply, or whatever the case may be? I said, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do then. I'm going to do that. And so that's what made me come up with that. I called them back. I said, yo, and what was the benefit was that they told me that for the rent that I paid it up. They said for the rent that I paid up, that they would backdate it if I took the space because they wanted somebody there. Damn. Oh, I can't beat that one. Started doing my little homework on beauty supply, finding out what the females like, finding out the area, what they needed, what they got. And from there, was what it was. Now, don't get me wrong. We know business. Sometimes it's slow.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a slow startup for whatever you're doing. But you got to keep going. That's my motto. Keep going, bro. Absolutely. Keep going. And that's just it.
Absolutely.
And so that's what made me end up having that. Like, that's my story for that. You know what I'm saying? And I just look at, like anybody that know me know how I feel about my daughter. Like, she's 10 years old now. I only been home 11 years. She's 10 years old now. And I keep her around because I want her to understand that, like, yo, this you.
She changed
Something
your life.
happened to me, this you. So she changed my life, home. And like this joint, like some people, I don't know how people cannot let their kids be a part of their change, right? But the transition for me was her. And like I said, I don't want to be in them joints, and lose my mother, home. And that's period. Like, I want to, if my mother, because everybody got to go. If she got to go, I want to be there respectfully to see that happen, home.
So where are your mother and your brothers at now?
Well, my brothers, they're around. My brothers doing them. Like, they're around. Like, and that's the blessing of it all. Like, all three of us been in the street and we live to be, I'm 50, my brother's 40 something, you know what I mean? And we all doing what we do. So they doing good. My mother, she retired, but what's the good part about it? She retired, but whenever she want to come down and work the beauty supply, she do. Like, that's my girl. Like, that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? So whenever she feel like she ain't busy or she don't want to be in the house or doing whatever, she come down and work the beauty supply, man. And that's just the luxury of, being able to have your mom around and being able to be around her. And that's just it.
I'm going to tell you right now, man, I've done about 6 or 7 episodes now, right?
Yeah.
And I got to say, man, you are the epitome of the Climb Back series. I appreciate you being an open book. You know what I'm saying? We sitting here with the man, the myth, the legend, Mando himself, Mr. Bottom fucking line.
My man.
What you gonna tell the people, man, to close out? Anything you wanna add?
Well, I just want to thank y'all, man, for y'all patience, man, because I know we done set dates, man, when we were supposed to get it done, man. I want to thank P. I want to thank my man, the videographer, like, you know what I mean? I forget his name. What's his name?
My man Foolie, man.
My man Foolie, right? I want to thank him, man. It's a pleasure, man, to be here, man. I know y'all had a time frame, man, and I know I'm a talking motherfucker. Like, I go crazy. And I told y'all that. But at the end of the day, I respect the fact that y'all held on and y'all held on for me, you know what I mean, to do what we needed to do. And all I'm saying is, man, whoever listened to this, whoever paying this some mind, man, all I got to do is reach one person, man. Anything else is a bonus, man. All I ask you to do is whatever you got in mind and whatever you got going on, just keep going home. Just keep going. It's called the Climb Back Series. Man, climb back home.
Oh, man.
It's just that simple.
Climb back. And drop the barbershop if I need to get a shape up. Or anybody watching me to come down here and get fresh.
Oh, yeah. Secret Society 2, 3433 Dundalk Avenue, and Secret Society Beauty Supply, 3431 Dundalk Avenue. And I just, like I said, man, look, man, support your own, man, because I'm going to support you, man.
Fellas,
bottom fucking line.
Fellas, get your shape up, bring your shorty down, get your bundle. You know what I'm saying? P down and get a talk. Come on, P. We can edit. Talk, P.
Like I said, man, even through P, even through you, or whatever the case may be, man, I respect y'all inspiration in my upcoming podcast, Mr. Fucking Bottom Line, like you said, even on my Instagram, Secret Society 1, Secret_Society 1, come and holler at me each and every day, or at least every other day. I'm throwing something up. I'm shooting some positivity to you. I'm making you think. I would need some feedback, man. The first of the year, I'm just trying to get my crowd up and do what y'all do, man, and make it work, man.
Hey,
just that simple.
Dosey, man, I appreciate
my man, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely, always.
It's the Climb Back Series, man. We out.
Man, climb back.